All right, recording start. Looking
Hi,
at
recording.
the playlist. Welcome to recording. Close all the spoilers and go to the
No
map where we are. All
spoilers.
right, who would like a 1d20 inspiration for a recap?
Koga went to the temple and did some things.
Not a good enough recap. Who's up next?
Okay, so Koga went to the temple for stuff that I wasn't there for the start of. And then when I joined, he was fighting like the shadow samurai guys who were suddenly not interested in murdering us all and like hanging out until Koga tried to steal stuff from them, in which case like, hey, no, none of that. But Koga managed to out stealth them somehow, and that earned their respect. Until the other guy who he just became immune to his damage, and he was like, I'm not wasting time with this. Enough drink. And then he found, and then he was led by his shadow doppelganger to find a Kodama who had Reika's Raikiri somehow. It's a very touching moment for all concerned.
Aww.
He completed all progression on the path of Kudo. Koga is now an edge sensei. Then he went back up out of the cave and saw Tochikawa, Shen, and Uzu.
Yep. And on the other side of the world, we had the introduction for Leo and Fuyuki that didn't go anywhere because Discord crashed for both of us.
Yep.
Not that I'm angry or anything.
That's alright. It was right when we were about to end. So the plan with Fuyuki and Leo is that soon, TM, whenever Fuyuki is available, if they're available, if not, then tail end of the session, I'll have Leo do it, and I'll just play Fuyuki in any relevant combats. The plan is to, so Leo, just some background information on what you were just doing, because your introduction was you coming out of the small cave entrance in the cove that the Seahorse, the Fairweather Cruise ship, is parked in. Docked in, excuse me. You were just exploring the caves at the behest of your leader, your captain, and you ended up finding an exit to the cave after a particularly grueling fight with some bastards. It looked to be some Canadians that definitely weren't alive anymore, but were fighting you. And they were down in the caves. And they had weird, spiky growths coming out of places, and they were misshapen, grotesque. No bueno. So shit's going down. Also, in the caves, you noticed there were a few veins of Emelis. You recognized that. There were several paths in the caves you did not take. And so, after regrouping, because your leader was like, alright, let's go talk to Abrissa, let her know what we found, and we're going to take her with us the next time, and we're just going to leave the ship here. And if we find anything at the edge of the northern channels of the cave system, you guys, so the cave starts in the south, where you guys are, starts here, and the exit you guys got out of was like here. And there were some other things that came further north that you guys did not explore. And so he's basically saying, we're going to go into the north ones. And by we, he means probably like 4 people. And then the rest are taking the ship and sailing it north sneakily to escape the attention of the encampment that is being set up right here. Figure out why they're there, what they're doing, etc. Because they don't know.
No.
You just cut out pretty hard. What? Stuart.
Stewart?
Oh, dead.
He's probably messing with his microphone settings. But either way, we're not starting with Leo. That's just background information. If we're starting with Koga, let's do a brief music change. Alright, so Koga, the scene changes back to you. You have just come up out of the ruins leading to Ishike Musho. In front of you is Tachikawa and Shen and the child Uzu. So Shen and Tachikawa are not actually facing you, facing each other, and as you come up out, they both nod to one another, at which point Tachikawa turns away, opens a portal, and leaves with Uzu in tow. In addition, following Tachikawa and Uzu is Kaoru, who is the Onmyoji ninja that was in Shen's group. After this happens, Shen turns to you as you come up out of the ruins. Did you find what you were looking for?
The path forward? Yes.
He nods. Well, I've decided that in addition to some separate matters that Tachikawa mentioned he wanted to check up on, I and the rest of the Mist have elected to return to Omanatue's Shugen region, our old home. Our goal is a campaign of Ninja Clan unification.
Koga, he kind of considers that. He's kind of thinking, he's like, well, that's kind of what I wanted to do. That's what he's thinking, but he doesn't say it out loud. But he does nod, and he says, then our destination is the same. I mean to return to Omanatue myself. So, if you would have me.
Continue, sorry.
If you would have me, he steps closer to the camp and the people.
They all sort of look at you. Are you getting ready to give a speech?
He looks at Shen and he's like, did you pass what I've learned to everyone?
He sort of gives a sweeping glance at many of the people that are still working in conjunction with the College of Excavation on the construction of the College of Skills. And he sort of folds his arms contemplatively before saying, I have not. I figure that it's best to keep them optimistic.
Koga also folds his arms, tilts his head, he kind of contemplates that wisdom.
Am I the only one having trouble hearing Kara?
Hearing who?
Sorry. Koga.
Koga is coming through great for me, like super clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I had it turned up to 200%.
Try this, Jay Shala. Open your volume mixer. Bottom right corner. Not in Discord. Just your whole computer volume mixer. Bottom right corner, next to the time and date. Right click the little speaker symbol and then open volume mixer.
Okay.
Raise Discord all the way to the top. And then lower everything else to like maybe half. And then just turn your computer volume up a whole bunch.
Okay.
And then after you do that, Koga, talk.
Hello.
Do you hear him?
No. It's still very faint.
It's weird.
Like barely coming through. You're coming
Burn
through.
it all,
fine.
burn it all down to start a game.
Well, I don't think that's a join-rejoin thing. Who I have him at? Yeah, I have you at 200% as well, Robert. How about this, Robert? Open up your microphone settings.
I mean, things seem to
I
be
have him at
perfect on my
109.
end.
Yeah, they are.
But-
They are. But if you can figure out how to get your decibel level higher, and then everyone except for Jay Shala lowers your volume through Discord, that might help.
Okay, so
So
My
open
mech-
your audio devices.
this is on my computer, not on
Yeah,
Discord.
computer.
Okay.
And then right-click the active microphone, click Properties. Did you do that?
I'm working on
No problem.
input. Test your microphone. Device properties. Microphone.
Do you have your microphone
How's
properties
this?
open? Did you boost?
How's this?
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, that
You
sounds very.
definitely
That sounds clear
boost
to
the
me.
decibels. All right, and now I can turn you down to 100% because my eardrums are bleeding. And it should be good for Jay Shala too.
Yeah.
Talk again, Koga.
Hello.
Yep,
And
you're
perfect.
coming out clear for me.
I have him at clear as crystal.
Right. So now that I've been put through the true definition of pain, we shall continue. Where were we? Yeah. So it looks like, just to give a brief recap from Aram Show of what just happened, Koga and Shen just said that he's kept the rest of the Mist Clan unaware of some of the irrelevant bad shit that's happened. Irrelevant to their goal, not irrelevant to the world condition. It's definitely relevant to that. And their new goal is Ninja Clan unification in the Shingen region.
All right. And you can hear me?
Yes, ow, great.
Alright, so Kogai nods, deferring to Shen's wisdom. He's like, very well. He kind of looks eastward, and he kind of taps his foot a couple of times, thinking, well, if we are to negotiate, we'll need some leverage.
You currently have 2 shards of Izanami.
Yeah, speaking of, nothing.
Well, he's saying this
No.
to Shen.
Oh, okay.
Just speaking of, nothing fucked up is happening because he's holding 2 of them at the same time.
Nope. Which is weird. Not weird. You guys don't actually know what would happen, but
We do actually. He tried that before. Chen offered him the Spirit Blade while he was holding the scroll, and the Pacers was like, "Hey, fuck, no, stop that, bad."
This is true.
yeah, but Isuru did not explain what bad was going to happen.
Yeah, Easter wasn't there. That would be one.
So you guys don't know the consequences.
And we don't know the consequences, but we know that the last time we tried to bring 2 shards together, the shards themselves were like, "No, fuck this, no, bad."
Would anyone like to make an in real life check on why that might be the case?
What do you mean make
I'm entirely
It's-
stupid, so don't look at me.
DC 1, so as soon as someone says yes, I'll tell you, because it should be
Yes!
obvious. Great. The reason the shards exist are because Izanami threw a temper tantrum. Of course they want to stay apart. She was still throwing a temper tantrum.
So she's not throwing a temper tantrum anymore.
You don't know that, but it's reasonably inferred. Out of character, no. She's no longer throwing a temper tantrum.
So Koga, he then asked Shen, well, we will need some leverage. How do you want to go about this?
I was going to kidnap the leaders.
Ah,
he waves a hand. That wasn't the first step. First, we're going to be establishing a base on the east coast of Omanatwe. And then the first step in the campaign is going to be attempting to locate the clan under the waves, as they were curiously absent when the Wood and Ash clans were destroying us. And we don't really
Underwater ninjas? Cool.
very well.
You guys thought your only water combat was going to be Kappa.
As for myself, well, if at all possible, I would like to see the fate of my other comrades.
What do you mean?
Well, the battle against Daiza took a heavy toll on us, but though I saw...
He nods.
I can't confirm the deaths of the others.
It was good to see that the spark was not died. He puts a hand on your shoulder and nods and says, "It is necessary for that spark to lead a fruitful life."
And then Koga's just more thinking to himself. Or to embrace a meaningful death.
Yeah, just call it night.
Shen looks at his
Yeah, I
hand.
think I just got cut a
He
little.
looks at his hand curiously. What is that? I touch paper. And then he continues on, but his words sort of drone out a little bit, and you have a hard time focusing on them. They become indistinct and as if they're being spoken at you through water. You get to roll a charisma save.
Oh, I'm super good at those. Okay. Let me do the one thing that I should have done at the beginning of the session and pull up my character sheet. So basically, he starts talking, and then like as he talks, it starts to
Yeah,
become
he's going,
more and more
"All right,
like.
hey, Koga, by the way, you have a really He's still clearly talking because you see his ninja mask moving up and down, but can't really understand what he's saying. You failed a charisma save.
Oof.
Your vision goes black. And with that, Tarum Show! Yeah,
Well then.
I hope you like ruins because you're not done with ruins, Koga. Alright, what music do we want to do for this? Let's go back to One Arm Bowl. Alright, so Terra and Miriam's show. You guys, along with Oda, have since where we left off. You guys had met with an Ash Clan ninja remnant who informed you that the Wood Clan is begrudgingly joined forces with the Cananians under Maximilian, and the Ash Clan has evaded such a fate. It seemed like they saw what was happening as the Wood Clan was falling victim to it, and they sort of scattered, got out of Dodge, hid their residences. You don't actually know how they live. You don't know if they have a village or anything, but you met one, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, we're not with the Cananians, or at least I'm not. I haven't actually talked to any of my compatriots in about a week and a half." So he's been surviving out on his own. His name is Oda. And last we left off, you guys just finished a camp, and then I'm going to say that afterwards you progressed up another half day to the north, upon which the hour arrives. You're situated on a ridge that overlooks what looks to be the ongoing construction of what will be the second Canadian encampment on Ominatwe. This one is on the coast, inland from 3 large ships, one much larger than the other 2 and in the middle. Terra, you recognize it as the type of Canadian ship that is capable of flight if needed. It can't fly for very long. It can only fly for about 3 days at a time, but it can fly. And it's there, and it's very likely that that's Maximilian's flagship, seeing as how it's usually the biggest in the fleet. This camp itself looks to be attached to some old ruins on the north side. You're on the south side, by the way. You're on a southern ridge looking up. And it looks like the camp's purpose has 2 potential ideas. It looks like there are envoys being sent to and returning from the gargantuan structure visible in the north. Indeed, Urumasimata kind of blocks out the entire northern horizon. It's absolutely massive. It's so big that it almost looks like it curves up over you. As well as that, there's a large oceanside quarry that is directly south of the encampment. There are large pieces of excavation equipment being constructed next to the quarry, and from this distance, Terra, you can't tell whether or not there is Emolite presence in the quarry, but that's probably what they're looking for. Below the ridge that you're on top of, it looks like there's a rudimentary old road running along the coast. Canadian banners with the Bloody General's family insignia, like the one you saw when you got here and you fought the Shida Okami. They have been raised along the road in about 3 or 4 mile increments, and the road itself leads up through the quarry and into the encampment before progressing westward towards Inga. It notably does not go towards Urumasimata. The envoys that are going up and returning from there look like they're making their own trail. Oda sort of looks sideways at you and Maram Sho as you're all just sort of huddled up on this ridge surveying the situation. He says, "So, we're going in there?"
You said you knew a way to get right into the middle of the encampment, yes?
Do you want to survive?
Yes.
Then I should probably save that to get you out of the middle of the encampment. Because it's sort of a one-way trip.
Because then
The encampment itself,
they would know the location.
it looks like the encampment itself is about 4 to 5 miles long. It's pretty big. It wouldn't be something so easily traversed by something like Dimension Door.
Well, if that's our exit, what's our entrance, do you think?
Oda shrugs. All I know is that if you do want to get out, I'm going to have to stay out here, and you guys are going to have to find some fire.
Fire?
He nods. Yeah, fire. Whenever you want to leave, just jump into some fire.
Be a problem.
You're cutting out a little bit. What, Carl? Carol? Bits?
Foxfire would surely work then. Not a problem there.
He sort of raises an eyebrow. What's Foxfire?
Mad.
He nods. Yeah, magic fire works.
That said, though, Miss Miram.
Maram Show?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Sorry. I'm kind of spacey.
I don't think an actual question was asked. I think he's just looking for any insights on the situation.
Let's go.
Oda sort of raises his eyebrows and nods. You guys have about... Well, we don't want him finding us. I think I can hide the smoke of a campfire for maybe 2 hours? Is that enough time?
I can.
It will have to be.
He nods. Alright. So, this is a skill challenge initiation. Required success is 8, failures 3. You don't know what happens if you fail all 3 times. Yeah. Big.
Time to get out my character sheet too.
Alright, so you two are up on a ridge. How do you get down?
With an athletics check. Alright, see, this is where you put your hand. Alright, now put your hand there. No, don't put your foot on that one. That rock's crumbly. See, look, you can see this here. Now follow my hand. Follow me exactly.
Ro just sort of hovers around you guys, occasionally serving as a handhold or foothold whenever you look like you're having a little bit of trouble. Roll athletics. Alright, that's 1 success. You guys get to the bottom of the ridge. Doesn't look like anybody has noticed you. You are currently, with your backs pressed up against the rocky wall of the ridge. You're about 20 feet away from the actual road going up the coast. You're sort of in the quarry. You're in the very southernmost reaches of the quarry. You need to get up through the quarry and into the encampment.
Alright, Tara, where do we go from here?
What did you say, Caro? Alright, who are you casting invisibility on?
Herself.
Alright, so you cast invisibility on yourself. And what check are you assisting with this? Because you use spells to assist checks.
Hmm.
The logical choice is stealth. But
Yeah.
remember that if you use the same skill multiple times, the DC goes up by 5 each time. Invisibility will be a very hefty bonus onto a skill check, a stealth check, but it might be smarter to run with a regular stealth check and then use invisibility later on when it's probably more perilous.
We're just in a quarry. Not many people. Okay, in that case... What do we see in front of us? Can I
Alright,
be on the
so-
lookout for any...
Yeah, you can. You want to roll, like, perception or investigation to figure out a good path through the quarry?
Boom.
Alright, so that's 2 out of 8 successes. You and Tara, or you and Marim Show, along with Ro, are in a pretty good position to actually see how the quarry progresses. It looks like there's one central road that goes up through the quarry and then around the opening of a fresh strip mine. And the strip mine itself is likely the main thoroughfare for the people coming through the quarry and working inside of it. In addition, that's where most of the construction of the large equipment is. But aside from that, there's a much smaller road that goes around the lip of the strip mine that is closest to you, that also sort of hugs the ridge that your backs are up against. And due to its nature of being a strip mine, there's a lot of rock and other debris that had to get pulled up out of the ground in order to get down in there, and a lot of that debris is resting on that lip. So it provides ample cover if you were to move through the quarry. So you, Merim Sho, and Ro all make your way along this much less traveled path with relative ease. And at this point, you notice a couple things as you're going through the quarry. You notice that there's, yes, the construction equipment. There's also what looks to be the only real source of fresh water for likely the entire encampment. It's a large water purification tower, and it's on the coast next to the quarry. In addition, there's some corralled explosives that are down inside the strip mine. Anything you want to do with any of that? Or you can always just move on.
Miss Merimshow, you might want to pick some of those up, though.
I will.
The explosives, so you guys are currently behind some of the debris pulled up out of the strip mine on the less beaten path between that debris and the ridge that you guys had climbed down. The explosives themselves are probably a good 700-800 feet down below you inside the strip mine. They would be pretty hard to get to.
Hmm.
They're not exactly
Never
right
mind.
next to you.
It's too far. Well, I suppose you could get Ro to get.
Ro, do you think you can carry that?
There's a lot. Rose sort of gives you a cautionary chirp.
Do you think you can carry one of them?
Ro nods.
Alright.
So you want to send Invisible Ro down to go get some explosives?
Sure.
Alright, is high good or bad?
High's good.
Wow.
High's bad! High's bad! High's bad!
Alright, do you want to keep moving and give Ro a meetup point later on, or do you want to wait here for her?
How much time do we have left?
It took you about 10 minutes to get where you currently are, so you have another hour and 50 minutes.
Eating regardless.
Let's wait at least a few minutes.
Alright, so you wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. You wait 10 minutes, and after 8 minutes, a portion of the explosives goes off, and the quarry itself goes into high alert. Many of the Cananians, what looks to be primarily artisans and grunt workers, this was not a coordinated explosion. The explosives were being stored. They were not currently in use, and Ro has not come back. Many of the people around are now. It looks like some rudimentary patrols are being set up, and it's particularly dense over around the explosives.
Okay.
So it looks
I
like
think
the
I can
quarry's
say
now
that
in high
we-
alert.
Ro, come back! Ro, forget about the explosives. Just come back.
You are not getting a response from Ro.
Can I feel if she's still on this
It's
plane?
She probably-
You got to resummon Ro. Ro kaput.
Do I have time? Okay, do we have time for me to resummon Ro?
Takes
Because I
10
really
minutes
don't
as a
want to do this
ritual.
without her.
Takes 10 minutes as a ritual, or if you want to expend a spell slot, you can just summon Ro with an action.
I'm gonna summon Ro with an action.
All right, you summon Ro with an action. Her face looks smoky and charcoaled up, and she looks like this. She gives you a
It was a good try.
a quaint, dissatisfied chirp. Why did you want me to pick up an explosive? I'm
All right, forget about that plan.
All right, so it looks like a part of the rudimentary patrol being set up is a couple of the grunt workers are moving up out of the northern exit to the quarry on the small road that leads up into the actual encampment. They met with a couple of the guards and they're talking to them. So to your north, what you've got to deal with is you can get out of the quarry pretty easily from where you currently are. And the southern side of the encampment, which is your next obstacle, the actual encampment entrance, it looks like there's 2 large manned watchtowers. It looks like there's some stables, and it looks like there's a barracks.
All right. Is there cover for us
Barrack?
to sneak along? Is there cover for us to sneak along behind one of those, or do we have to be out in the open at some?
Barracks.
Eric?
Sorry, I was looking up the pronunciation of barracks.
Barrack.
We were both wrong. It's barracks.
Oh.
I don't like that. I'm gonna call it a barracks. That's way easier.
Yes, that's
Sorry,
what I
what'd
call
you
it.
say?
Do we have cover? Do we have cover to go behind one of those buildings, or are we going to be in the
The
open?
buildings themselves, it looks like they're built into a large picketed wall. I forget what you call them, but they're the big like
Barricade?
yeah, big barricaded walls with the big spike tops, the wooden spike tops and stuff. They're built through them. Yeah, palisades. Thank you, Stuart. It's got palisades as walls, and the buildings themselves are going through the palisades, so it looks like there's a little bit of a possibility that there's an entrance on this side, but the primary entrance has the 2 large watchtowers on either side of it.
And
And it doesn't look like you can really get in any other way.
okay, perhaps we could roll performance. I could say, with my high charisma check, I can say, these are not the intruders you're looking for.
Ow!
Um, so, just to, is that something you want to do?
If I have to. I have an 11 in persuasion.
Unfortunately, a 30 in persuasion doesn't function as a Jedi mind trick.
Oh. Okay. But could we, act like we belong there?
If you got uniforms, or disguised yourself somehow.
Okay. Are there any... Okay. So what do the uniforms and stuff look like, and the guys?
It looks like some very heavy armor. Very heavy armor, or very brown, sort of drab workman's clothes. However,
All
the,
right,
workman's, the workman's clothes look to be primarily in the quarry, and it would be a little weird if workmen were, especially now that everything's on high alert, if workmen were going up into the encampment itself. So you would probably need heavy armor for that to function.
Okay. Could I use history or... Alright. So, I've read a bunch of histories about people sneaking around and stuff. And... why not? I'm very well read. I am a teacher. I've read spy novels and stuff. And...
I'm trying to think if there would be actual spy novels, though. Like,
Okay.
like historically accurate spy novels.
Imagine Koga on a Harlequin romance book.
I'm gonna say because ninja are very esoteric in the region, there's not really a basis for that.
But people have, at some point, tried to sneak past other people.
I mean,
Probably not if the islands
can
are this
you-
peaceful.
can you think of an example of that in like an actual history book? It doesn't really get into that minutia. I'm talking about The Art of War is an actual history book.
I
Yeah,
do
the
think
tale
that
of
you are on the right path. So, how about instead, Terra tries to recall the best ways to deal with this.
A much
Since they're
much,
Canadians,
much better justification, much lower DC. If you had rolled history, Miriam show the DC would have been 25.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tara.
Woo!
So Tara, you recall
it's all coming back to me.
you recall very well a particular mission where you were able to, after locating an armory. So what are you trying to do? Get into the encampment? Okay, so are you trying to disguise yourself? Are you still going with that, or are you rolling history on how to sneak in?
Ways to sneak in, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should cover our clothes with dirt to make them brown, just in case. But it's probably just in case, like we.
So
Likely-
you have 3 successes, and I'm gonna say that the thing you come up with, Tara, like, you still do have to come up with a plan, but you do have a success.
Okay, so from what I recall,
I'm gonna say the mission you drew it from was the classic maneuver of create a distraction, which is technically already done, and then while they're freaking out, climb over the wall. You're not doing get help. Thor Ragnarok is amazing.
well, they're distracted. So now would probably be a good time we could just boop-a-doop and walk right in.
Let's doopy doop.
So you're walking through the
Man.
gate.
Is that what your distraction text says?
I mean, we could send Ro as a distraction. But we kind of already had one. The giant explosive. Now they're all panicking. They're going that direction, away from here. There's a few guards setting up there, but
All right, I'll follow your
in the
lead.
panic, we should be here.
All right.
We'll be successful. No more friends will die on my walk.
So, as the workmen and the guard are discussing things, the guard turns back towards the watchtowers and beckons down the people on top of them. People on top of them come down. The guard addresses them for a minute, and then the entire group goes down into the quarry. The watchtowers are very briefly unguarded. If you guys have an opportunity, it's right now.
Let's.
Now,
Alright, you guys run through the gates right after they pass, ducked down, and you enter the encampment. You are now in the southern encampment. Immediately, so you have 3 options. You can take the actual road, which is very stupid. You can duck left and go along the left turn wall, or duck right and go along the did I say left turn?
Yes.
I want to
But
die.
that's
You did
that's
say
a
left.
word now.
Go along the left wall, or
it's
go along the
definitely a word.
the right wall. What you can see from where you are is you see what seems to be some sort of internment camp. Tara, you recognize it as an internment camp because you've seen them used before. You had a little bit of dealings in them when you were doing torture stuff, but you weren't too involved with the process. And then you see an armory. The internment camp itself is on the right, and then there's an armory and a training grounds on the left. Going left, right, or center. Make your decision. This has nothing to do with a check.
Internment.
Alright. So you're going on the right, which is on the coast side. You guys,
Yeah.
I'm
you
for
will-
the armory,
you will
actually,
have more
because we
cover
could
if you
sneak
go
in,
left.
grab.
Okay. I'll defer to the
To Tara? Okay.
professional ninja.
So you guys go along the left. There's the armory and the training grounds. The armory looks like it has, there's a couple stragglers inside. It looks like some people have started actually listening to the alarm that is blaring throughout the encampment, and they've started arming themselves, and it looks like they're going to either get briefed on what's happening, or they're going to go head to a station that they were assigned to. What would you like to do? You are currently right outside the armory, and there is a non-paned window, so it's just sort of a square hole in the wall that leads in.
If we get into the armory, can we put on armor and disguise ourselves as people who should be there?
Why would you not be able to? Of course you can do that.
That's the plan.
Ro, keep a lookout. Tell us if anyone's coming.
Alright, Ro turns invisible and goes up above the armory. You immediately hear a chirp. There are people everywhere.
So, we're gonna have to be sneaky about it. I suppose I could turn invisible.
Well, if you cast a spell, it's to assist a check. Come up with the check you're doing first.
Okay. Let's see, what do I have good in? I have performance. Can I be performing as in I'm performing, I'm not there?
No, not really. Performance
Okay.
is you also probably want to save that for when you're actually in the armor.
Okay. Then, I guess I'm gonna do an arcana.
What are you arcanaing?
I'm arcanaing. Is this a
That's
a good place to cast
question.
an invisibility spell?
You could get away with it, yeah.
Okay. I
Alright,
am invisible.
So you cast invisibility on yourself. I guess that's 4 successes.
Well, for me to not follow.
Hi, hello, what's up?
Hello, what's up with you two?
I think it's
I vanished to get coffee. I am back.
Oh, okay. Where did we leave off? Just so I can catch you up real fast.
That the guards left the guard towers, they went to the quarry, and
Great.
that gave
so,
the
Marim,
group a
Sho,
window.
Terra, and Ro ran in through the front gates right after they were gone. They didn't run in; they stealthed in, and then in front of them were what looks to be an internment camp of some sort, and then that was on the right, on the coastal side, and then on the left side, on the side right underneath the ridge, there is an armory and a training grounds, and they elected to go towards the armory and the training grounds. They're now right outside the armory. Marim Sho, roll the successful Arcana check. What are you doing with your stealth check, Tara?
Invisible and waiting for the people to leave the armory so we can sneak in and grab some armor.
Alright, so Marim Sho's now invisible, and Tara, you guys now have 5 out of 8 successes. You guys hop into the windows. You're very stealthy. You don't even really need to wait for them to leave. You just saunter behind some cabinets, and Marim Sho, all she has to do is make sure she's not really making much noise, which is relatively easy. There's not a lot of confined space in here. It's relatively open. And then after the coast is clear, you locate and don some armor. Marim Sho and Tara, you both find quite a bit of trouble finding armor that actually fits you. Tara, you're 5 foot tall. Marim Sho, you are, how tall are you?
5'5".
Okay, it doesn't look as ridiculous on Marim Sho, but you're also invisible. You could also just forego the armor entirely. You want to stay invisible?
Yeah.
Okay, you stay invisible. Tara, you have some comically unfitting armor.
Can we do a perception check
You know,
to find one
I
that,
think they...
or to find one that fits better?
You did already roll perception. The DC will be higher, but yes.
Or we could, let's see, did we do investigation?
You did not do investigation.
So how about, hey Tara, do you have a good investigation roll?
It could do. It might not be as good as yours, but
Mine's a
it could do.
2.
Wait, are you talking
Mine's a
about what
3.
your investigation rolls are in character?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay. Shall we look all over for one that's better for you, that fits you better?
Some. I mean, there's tabaxi all over the damn place.
Alright, so Madam Show, you start rifling through the armor cabinets and... Done. And
I had a 3. Why did you roll?
It would have been a 12.
I thought you said, okay, I didn't hear what you said then.
So Madam Show, while you're invisible, you rifle through the armor cabinets, and you're looking for some armor for Tara, as she looks comically misplaced, as I just said. And the noise of you rifling through the armor cabinets draws some attention from the outside, and 3 people come inside. Oi! One of them looks at Tara. Take off your helmet. Do you have an assignment?
Isn't Terror still invisible?
Tara's not invisible, Madam Show's invisible.
Oh, I thought Terror had also cast it.
Yeah, that's why I cast it on
To
myself.
assist with the stealth. She said she was following her lead.
You didn't explicitly say that you cast invisibility. She just kind of rolled Arcana, and then you just kind of rolled Stealth.
I beg your pardon for assignments. Did you go off? We have to all get there.
Sorry, say again. You cut out a little bit.
Beg your pardon, but did you not hear the explosives go off? This is an emergency. We all have to get there now. There's no time for assignments. Let's go. Come on, move, move, move.
So this guy looks like he's the captain, and he sort of, his stance shifts a little bit, and he says, "There's no time for assignments, huh? Well then, what exactly was I tasked with giving people from Maximilian? Take your helmet off."
If I whisper rapidly in Tara's ear, can I use my persuasion count?
You are across the room.
Well, can I slowly go over to Tara?
You start making your way over to Tara.
Okay.
What do you do, Tara?
I don't have time for this. I'm going to go and see the quarry. Stand down, sir.
Alright, great. You say that, the guy nods.
It didn't work.
Oh, no.
I'm going to use my reroll on that.
Go ahead. It's still going to be tough. You're trying to intimidate the captain.
Tara's at higher rank, technically speaking.
Ooh. Ooh, that's unfortunate. So the DC was 18. The camp being put on high alert was a static +3 to all DCs.
Oh, so close. Oh, hey, wait! I still have inspiration.
You do.
I don't think I gave you that inspiration.
You did. You said for the rest of this session, or the next session, because of the way you are acting with Reika's death. It's very in character, so you gain inspiration.
Okay, which one? Intimidation or I guess it's the 20.
Just, which I don't have to roll since you said it was a +3.
All right, so
So 20.
the guy looks a little shaky. Madam Show, you make your way over to Tara. There he is.
Okay.
Or there she is.
I lightly tap her on wait, her shoulders and armor. I lightly tap her on something to let her know that I'm there.
Alright, so you tap on her shoulder. The captain himself leaves. The two people attending to the captain. It looks like one of them is magically inclined. One of them's carrying a great axe. They stand next to the door. They're eyeing you suspiciously, but they're not accosting you.
Okay. So let's see. What do I whisper in Tara's ear? Okay.
Does that
Hold
count
on.
as a success?
No, it does not. It counts as you mitigating the effects of the investigative failure, which was going to be a combat.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Tell them that to go along and follow their commander, basically. Tell them that, they're supposed to be with him. He's gone. Yeah.
You can't really roll persuasion on influencing Terra. You have to get you guys closer to the center of the camp with your rolls.
Oh.
Like,
Well,
as much-
that's what
as
I
much as
whisper
I
into.
would love to let you just spam social checks on each other. You have to use social checks on actual NPCs.
Okay, so not even if I'm whispering into her ear and telling her to say a thing?
Yeah, that would be her doing a persuasion check.
Yeah.
You guys are
Hmm.
also pretty far away from the center of camp. So you're going to have to justify social checks really well in getting there.
Okay, then.
So you're still
I
in the
wish-
armory. The two people left there, they don't look like they're going to keep you from leaving. But Terra still looks ridiculous, and you're still invisible. It's been about half an hour.
Okay, I think we should leave now.
Do remind me sometime to have people get better armor for us short. It really. I don't know. There's more of us around here, right? She says as she's just going to walk through the door, fed up.
Are you making a check with that? Or are you just saying it?
She's just saying it as she's walking
Alright,
through
so
the door.
The magically inclined attendee just sort of scoffs and goes, well, armor is not for us more dignified sorts, and, well, you grunts, I could care less.
Ah, yes, the haughty maid.
Tell me about it.
archetype.
That's how it always went.
Alright, so you guys leave the armory and progress up the street. You have reached the central encampment. And here there's, you first see some livings for some artisanal types that are on the coastal side. And then on the ridge side, there's a big mess hall, and smack right in the center, there is a massive pit where this rancid smell is coming from. Madam Show, make a constitution save.
Okay, con save.
Okay, so you manage not to puke as the smell of burning yokai flesh meets your nose.
What are they doing?
Oh, just burning the people that don't agree with us. You know how it goes.
As you guys are walking through, you do hear some stuff. There's some whispers. There's some disquieted whispers on how this land is treacherous and it is filled with demons and the worshippers of demons. It looks like yokai have been very quickly scapegoated. There's already a lot of propaganda in place against many of the Tengu that these people have likely killed and been killed by, as well as other yokai that are more prevalent to the Omanatoan region. And it looks like they haven't found a great way to dispose of them. So there's a massive pit that they dump them into. Also, as you get up out of this southern encampment, you notice that the internment camp looked like it was populated by some wood ninja looking individuals. What do you want to do? Camp is still in high alert. There looks to be some, now that assignments have actually been placed, you actually see the captain himself talking to Maximilian up near the entrance to the northern encampment, which is at the apex of a road leading up to the top of a ledge that overlooks the rest. And up on top of that ledge, there's where the ruins are that the encampment was built off of. After having their small discussion, Maximilian walks away, and the captain redescends down into the central encampment. He takes his own station, which is around the yokai pit, and has an entourage of about 4 people with him.
Survival check to best blend.
To best what?
It's kind of a.
You cut out. I didn't hear what you were saying.
A survival check to blend in with, but blending in is usually stealth, so disregard that, I guess.
Yeah, survival check would be good if it was natural camouflage, but not so applicable here.
Well, Tara saw Maximilian, so she's going to start walking towards where he would.
Alright, so you pass by the captain and his entourage of 4 men, and he stops you. And he says, what does he say? Hey, once you stationed in the armory,
I was. No, I'm not.
his eyes narrow. I'm the one giving out the assignments, and you seem to be making up your own.
I apologize. I thought I had saw a Tengu fly off in that direction. I was going to stop it before it hurt anyone else.
Roll deception. If there was a Tengu, Northern Watchtower would have told us. He eyes you down, and then reaches out and pulls your helmet off. Are you doing anything in response to this?
Oh, she'll let him.
All right.
Dang, I should have done minor illusion.
Pulls your helmet off, and his eyes immediately widen as he sees your face. His fingers kind of lock up, and then the helmet drops and clatters to the ground, and he goes, "Oi! Oi, it's the fugitive!" And he shouts behind himself. The 4 people to his right and left immediately accost you. Are you going to be fighting your way out of this? What are you... Roll initiative? Roll initiative. I don't have a map ready for this. I'm gonna make it, and so it's gonna take me like probably 5 minutes. You guys got pretty close, but a couple real poor rolls there at the end. In addition,
I really should have done minor illusion.
Minor illusion wasn't gonna help.
Why not? He has 2 seconds.
Because he had a caster in the entourage, and you don't have subtle spell. So the caster's like, "Hey, someone who is invisible is casting a spell."
Well, I should have done that in the armory.
Minor illusion cannot move around. It would have had to be in the moment. You don't have alter self. Minor illusion is a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I would love for it to work that way, it doesn't.
Yeah, next time maybe pack suggestion.
Can I cast? No, wait, I don't have spell slots left.
You just long rested.
Yeah, but I used up both of them.
What did you cast? You cast invisibility.
I summoned Row, and I turned myself...
Oh, no. Oh, that's gonna be rough.
That's not...
You could give Tara your reroll.
Nah. Consequences have already happened. Alright.
I shouldn't have sent Row to get... I should have said hi for that roll.
You should have said hi for that roll. Should have said hi is bad.
I'm sorry I missed you guys.
It is okay. Worse has happened to better people.
Well, I still have my cantrips at least.
Yeah, but that's most of what a warlock is.
You can still make a fire.
Alright. Row. Show. And Tara. You guys have your initiative checks. I'll add you to them. I'll move the map over in just a second. I'm Show 18, Tara 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't rolled yet.
Go ahead and roll.
That's your deception.
I was
Deception.
up.
I already gave you an initiative. Just go roll and I'll change it.
Cool.
19, nice. So you're probably going first.
At least it's greater invisibility.
You clicked the regular invisibility spell.
No, I didn't click. I didn't click any spell.
Up here, Tara clicked invisibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you have greater invisibility active. Add them to the initiative.
Now remember, who do we kill first?
Maximilian?
I'm sure that's not.
You're cutting out.
I'm sure that that's an option. Oh. I hadn't know.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of stupid, so.
Kill the healer.
If there is a healer.
Kill the mage first.
What's your dex, Tara? Higher than his, so I'll put you at 20. Alright. Your move. What are you doing, Tara?
Mine?
No, Tara.
If combat is what you wish to initiate, then. But I suggest you leave.
Do you know where you are? Wisdom save. Who are you casting this on? The spearman?
Captain.
Alright, he fails. Takes 9 psychic damage. Do you know where you are? Backs up considerably. So he's got his back to ridge wall. Gets to there. Doing anything else?
I'm in the Canadian encampment. Do you know where you are? You're in Omanatwe, the homeland of my friend. You will leave.
Alright, and so is that it?
Yep.
Alright, this guy is going to run up to you and make an attack. Ooh. Oh, it's gonna be rough not having Koga here.
Definitely.
I mean, if Mr. One-Armed Man didn't just fly the coop right away, Koga would have been like, hey, can you take me back to wherever my friends might
Oh wait,
be?
hold up. He might not have run away. Yeah, he still runs away. You do notice that it was harder to affect him with your spell than it normally would have been to affect other people. The reason for this is some latent MLS that was in his armor lit up in response to you casting the spell. So
Once.
that's a thing. Alright, Tara. 16 to hit. 16 to hit.
Yes.
2 misses. Alright, he goes up with his axe. Chop, chop. He managed to dance out of the way both times. Miriam Show, your turn.
Okay. Ro? Can Ro fly here?
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait.
So,
That's 30 feet up. And what's her flight movement?
let's
It needs to be 70 feet for her to get up there.
Okay. Speed 15 feet, flight 60. Okay.
So
So,
she gets to here.
alright.
She's not quite all the way up.
So she doesn't have any movement left, and I won't put. I'll send her here,
Okay.
and I'll send an Eldritch Blast through her, and then tell her to get up.
Okay, Ro does not have greater invisibility. The Eldritch Blast turns off Ro's invisibility. Who are you attacking?
I know. But first of all, and I get thingy because I'm invisible.
So the attack is made with advantage because Ro starts invisible.
Okay.
The second one is not made with advantage because the first one reveals her. So it's 23 then 11. Who are you attacking?
Shame.
This dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Mage.
The
And it's
mage
repelling blast.
puts up a shield, and both of the Eldritch Blasts impact it with no effect.
Dang.
Looks like it had prepared a reaction. No, it didn't. It had 3 AC, or 3 initiative. It gets hit. 11, no, 15, 11 doesn't hit. Alright, so the shield does not go off. The Eldritch Blast repulses it to here. Him, sorry. I should be calling him a him. Let me look up his
Are they all
health.
dudes?
Most of them are dudes, yeah. And by most of them, I mean yes, all of them are dudes.
A real sausage fest there.
Well,
So sig.
that's kind of realistic for medieval settings.
Right,
Not
I'm
a lot
just
of-
saying.
Not a lot of women wanted to go off onto big conquests for excavating minerals. Is that all you're doing? So
And I'm
as
moving.
Ro reveals herself, the caster shouts, "Demon in the skies!" And you hear some footsteps up on the ridge.
Okay, that's probably not good.
Was that all you were doing?
Yeah.
So because the first attack was made with advantage, roll sneak attack damage, because you would have dealt a little more to this fella.
Me?
Yes.
How much is sneak attack?
It's on Ro's character sheet.
Oh. Sneak attack. Absorb elements. Sneak attack. 2d6. Okay.
Roll 2d6. Nice. Alright, and now it's this guy's turn. He's more concerned with the demon than with Terra. Runs over to Ro. Makes 2 attacks.
But I told Ro to fly up, so
Yeah,
up.
he's throwing it. So the axe, it looks like it's attached to a rudimentary rope fixation on this guy's arm, and it allows him to throw it up and then retract it. First hit's 20. Second is 9. Do either of those hit?
What's her AC's 15, so the first one.
She takes 15 slashing damage and 4 force damage. She has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. It's a bit.
Alright, so she is able to maintain her flight.
Okay. So how much did you say that was?
19 total damage.
Okay. So how much?
Captain runs up to Terra. And actually, how far away was he here? Moves to here.
Against the ridge.
Moves to here. Ha! And he's going to make
Bless you.
his attacks. Thank you. Attack. 21 to hit.
It hits.
23 to hit.
It hits.
Alright, so he runs behind you and stabs twice. You take 12 total piercing, 5 total force. In addition, he tears the spear out of you with the second attack, and it deals an additional 8 damage. As it looked like he was able to build up a lot of momentum with his movement before he made the attacks. With that, it is the caster's turn. Terra. Make a wisdom saving throw.
1 second. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Didn't work.
Ooh, that's no bueno. Wow. Marim Show, make a wisdom saving throw for you and Ro as well.
Okay. Saving throw. Wisdom.
Alright? Is that for you or Ro?
That was for me.
That's not good. Roll for Ro.
Could I have my reroll?
You could. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna reroll that.
This may just something else.
Let me roll for this guy real fast. Well, he makes it, which is not great, because now it doesn't really matter if these guys make it or not. He does not make it. He makes it. Alright, so Marim Show, you still fail with the 14. You, Ro, and Terra, as magical writing begins weaving itself in a large space between you, the Axeman, Ro, the Captain, and Terra, you all become incapacitated and your speed is reduced to 0. The Captain is unaffected. He walks over to Terra. He's going to make a coup de grace.
This is not good.
It's not good. It's not a crit. So let's... Actually, he's going to walk over to the Axeman and kick him. So he is knocked out of it. Takes 2 damage. He's going to command the Axeman to coup de grace Terra. With this guy at the same time. If you're incapacitated, you can no longer concentrate on spells. Marim Show is greater invisibility concentration.
Yeah, I think.
Alright, your invisibility goes down. The caster notices and casts Hold Person on you. They're going to deal with that in a second. So, Terra, you take...
No, it's not. It doesn't say concentration on here.
Alright, let me look.
At least, unless I just forgot to put it there, but...
It is concentration.
Yeah, it is. Up to a minute, so it also wouldn't have been active anymore. That's fine, though.
Also,
That's
also don't, though, Marim, don't you have, like, advantage against spell effect?
Oh yes, with Ro around.
I tried.
Rip.
Well then.
Ro technically also has that ability.
Alright. So Ro's gonna try to make the save too.
That said, these attacks are still going off on Terra.
17. Does Ro save?
Yes. Ro is not incapacitated.
Ro is kind of pissed.
Oh wow, really bad rolls on the force damage. So you take 39 total damage from the coup de grace Terra,
Oh.
and then the spearman.
That's a lasting wound.
Ooh. Are you down?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it's a lasting wound. All right. So Terra's unconscious. Marim Show, make a. Wait, no, you failed. Again. So these guys go over and tie you up while you're incapacitated. This guy casts Hold Person while they're doing so. They do a pretty good job, and then after you're tied up, they're going to coup de grace you as well.
I can cast Shield as a reaction.
You are incapacitated.
Okay.
Hypnotic pattern is what Saturday Session used to one-shot someone so hard that Peter quit. It's a good spell.
Wow.
You take 47 slashing damage, or 40 slashing damage, 7 force damage.
Let me see how much.
Hang on.
Okay, I have 2 HP left.
Okay, you have 2
Hang
HP
on.
left. What's up?
The spell ends when someone takes damage.
Exactly.
Only
They're coordinating coup de grace. You can do that.
Also,
It's in the combat rules.
so it ends then?
Yeah, so
Can
you're
I-
not incapacitated anymore.
Okay, because I can, as a reaction, teleport.
Uh,
Let's see. Misty Escape.
use your reaction, turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Remain invisible until the start of your next turn or until you attack or cast a spell. Alright, where do you want to go invisible?
Alright, actually, they tied up. They tied up Terra, right?
No, they tied up you. You're tied up. But you can use this. It doesn't have any...
Like, does it look like they're planning to kill us or take us captive?
The spearman is currently standing over Terra.
I say, we surrender!
Roll persuasion.
Please don't be a crit fail or something.
Alright, so as you say we surrender, the guy who just swung his axe down and attacked you sort of leans over and his face looks genuinely remorseful. He sets down his weapon and sort of continues strengthening the bonds that are around your hands, and he says, "I'm so sorry, but it's not up to us to decide."
Who is it up to then?
And as he's tightening the bonds, he just sort of looks up here. If it happens, we'll make it quick. And are you using Misty Escape or no? Because if so, this guy is going to knock you out.
Like, I'm trying to figure out. So the guy up here has the guy up here made the decision?
This was where Maximilian went to.
Yeah.
Maximilian, also known as the Bloody General, the war criminal.
Yeah, he's.
But does a
yeah.
28 work on him?
28
No, he's
was
not there.
against this fella. This guy was convinced he doesn't want to kill you, but it's not up to him.
Grunt.
Okay.
All right. So, just
Now, what do you want to do with Ro? Because it is still your turn.
Okay.
okay. Just while I'm here,
Yeah.
can Miriam still cast spells through Ro even while
Yes.
she's?
No, you cannot. You still need to perform the components yourself. Ro doesn't perform the components in your stead. It's just the point of origin for the spell.
And Ro doesn't like have. Yeah. Oh, hang on. No. Ro can't breathe fire or anything, can he?
No.
Ro is a girl.
I think. Let me see what Ro can do.
Ro, she decided to give Ro the rogue class instead of the sorcerer class. And the sorcerer class would have been able to breathe fire.
Because if they're gonna kill me, then I have to Misty Escape and try to grab Terra.
You already made the persuasion attempt. You can no longer react to taking damage.
Oh, I didn't realize that was... Oh, I didn't realize that counted.
You can continue trying to talk your way out of it, or accept whatever's about to happen.
Please, let us talk to him. At least.
This guy sort of looks back at the captain and says, "Hey!" Captain gruffly looks over, takes a step over and says, "You did say dead or alive." we don't want them running around any more than we have to. And he says, come on, they're people. They don't look like the ones that were sending to the demons. The captain looks down at Marin Show. He blinks. And then stabs down, you go unconscious, and we're going to move back to Koga.
Oh,
Tara, we're going to roll for your lasting wound. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, okay. Okay. So Tara, you were attacked with 2 axes. You are suffering some pretty bad internal damage. If you don't get it treated within an hour, which isn't going to happen, it lasts for a week. You automatically fail Constitution saving throws, Dexterity saving throws, and Strength saving throws, and your movement is reduced to 15 feet.
this was a stupid idea.
You guys almost pulled it
It
off.
was.
5 out of 8 successes. All right.
Okay.
So Koga, you slowly return to consciousness, and you cannot see. It smells very musty and dank, and you hear some water dripping in the distance. Sort of plop, plop, plop. Nothing too obtrusively loud. Something that definitely gives you a strange inhibition on where you are. It smells very old.
In the woolly hole.
Music change.
Plink, 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 plink. That water dripping.
Boy, this... We're not gonna have a TPK, are we?
Your persuasion rolls saved you and Tara.
Okay,
You
I
guys
can-
were going to die. You no longer die. So good job. You
Now you're-
you single-handedly saved both of your asses by getting that guy's sympathy.
So now you're in prison, and Koga has to come to the
I
rescue.
actually do have to see what Ro's doing. Hold on. Oh,
I think...
Ro is a Chad. That's what
What's
Ro's
that
doing.
mean?
He's a Chad. That's all you need to know. She's a Chad. That's all you need to know. Whatever
Okay.
she's doing it super well.
Alright.
All right, Koga, what you doing?
All right, so I can't see at all,
You cannot see at all. Wherever you are, it is
Uh,
very dark.
and I don't even have blind sense. Jeez. I'm
Ninja, are you?
gonna crouch low, and I am going to stretch my fingers across whatever terrain that I'm standing on.
Feels like well, you're lying down first of all. You sort of get up, and there's a lot of wet portions on your clothes and your gi because wherever you are, it's damp, and you seem to have been lying down for some stretch of time. You have no idea how long. You feel very groggy, like you woke up in the middle of a nap that wasn't satisfying at all. Your hands on the ground, you feel the texture of carved stone, like tiles. There's inlets between the tiles. There's this dilapidated sort of cracking that happens occasionally, and you sort of crawl along, and the tiled floor meets a wall, and you go up the wall. It seems to be made of the same thing. The wall goes up to a low ceiling. You are barely able to stand at your full height.
I'm gonna make a perception check to see if I can sort of recollect this as being similar to the Temple of Kuro.
This is not similar at all to the Temple of Kuro. The Temple of Kuro was dry. It was underneath a desert. It was very spacious, and when you were inside the true Temple of Kuro, it was so high you couldn't see the ceiling. It vanished into darkness.
But the stonework,
The stonework was also very different. This stonework feels gritty And well, no, the Kuro was sandstone. Felt very gritty, very granular. This one is smooth and very intricately carved. You actually start to feel these inlaid writing, just simple messages of sort of archaic spirituality.
All right.
Like the sort of Japanese version of Jesus is in this home.
So my eyes are open, but I can't see a thing.
Yes, it's too dark.
Well, I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna draw Whisper and utter Hikari.
As you utter Hikari, the sword does not emit light, but blue torch sconces sequentially blaze with blue flame, starting closest to you and then moving down further and in two directions in the corridor that you're currently in. These blue-flamed torch sconces illuminate the area. The stone around you is this sort of grayish-greenish with very subtle teal intonations around the writing. And the corridor you're in leads in two directions. One of them forward, one of them a different forward.
All right, and Shen isn't here.
Shen is not here.
Koga takes a moment to feel the back of his neck, wondering if maybe somebody knocked him out with a sleep dart.
So as you rub the back of your neck, roll perception. Your passive doesn't get this.
Bleep.
So as you rub the back of your neck, you're like, what the hell happened? You hear a very faint feminine voice in the back of your head. Not clear enough to understand what it's saying, but you do hear it. It's like a very low, very latent tinnitus. The sort of thing that you forget is there when you stop paying attention to it.
So what does this voice say?
Can't tell.
So basically a feminine whisper that is indistinguishable.
Yeah, it's not loud enough to even be annoying, really.
Alright, so with a 17 passive, do I have a sense of direction which way is quote-unquote forward?
The forward and backward in the corridor look identical.
Alright, well, without any real orientation, Koga is just going to walk quote-unquote forward.
Roll a 1d2.
A 1d2.
Yeah, you're flipping a coin.
Yeah.
Alright, so you pick a direction and you start walking. And are you doing so stealthily or you just walking?
I am going to move a cautious pace.
Alright, you move at a cautious pace. After about half an hour, you get to a wall. The corridor ends in a wall, and it makes a very sharp turn to the left. And to the left, there is a steep staircase descending, cut from the same stone. The sort of abrupt end the corridor meets, cut into that is a statue of a Kirin.
So the stairs descend to a statue of a Kirin?
No, the corridor ends in a statue of a Kirin, and then to the left of that, the stairs descend.
Okay. Koga's gonna take a moment, glance up at the Kirin. He's like, well, there is some sapience to this place, at least. He's gonna head down those stairs.
Right, you start walking down the stairs, and after you descend the stairs for about 5 minutes, there's a lot of them, This is a pretty big place, actually. The wall to your left gives way, and the stairs start. The wall's just not there anymore, and it just opens up into this huge blackness, this massive vacant space, as the right wall continues to follow you down. After another 5-ish minutes of descending, you get to a floor that goes out into that blackness, cut from the same stone. The voice in the back of your head, you still don't really understand what it's saying, but it feels a little more irritated.
So Koga's just kind of muttered to himself. He's like, "What? You don't want me going this way?"
Roll insight. It's really difficult for you to attribute any rhyme or reason to this indistinct, barely sapient voice in the back of your head. And sensing your frustration, out from your clothes pops the Kodama with its little teacup hat. And it looks
Oh, hey,
at you.
you're here too.
It climbs up and sits on your shoulder, and it's emitting about a foot or so of dim light. It's naturally incandescent. It's just chilling, and it sort of just takes its fingerless hand. It only has a thumb, and it thwap thwap gives you a couple reassuring pats against the side of your head.
Well, I don't have any direction. He looks to the Kodama who is patting him. He's like, "Is there anywhere you'd like to go?"
It looks out into the blackness, then up the steps, and seems to rub its chin. Points forward.
Koga kind of gives an empty smile and says, "Forward it is." And he's just going to keep going.
Alright, so do you want to walk directly into the emptiness or follow the wall?
Given that the emptiness could be a void into eternally falling through the bottom floor of the skybox, he's just gonna...
It's lit enough that you can tell if the floor drops off. Because as you've been walking, sorry, I didn't go into this. As you've been walking, gradually, because you said a magical command word, the blue flames light your progress, basically. So imagine these torch sconces having an aggro range. Once you enter the aggro range, they turn on. It's like motion activated.
Good. Okay. Alright, so yeah, he's just gonna keep cautiously moving forward, keeping his eye out on the floor for any sort of traps there might be.
So with your passive perception, actually, roll an active investigation, since you're looking at the floor. I should use investigation more. You guys are broken with your wisdom.
Beep.
Ooh, nice. So there are very large carvings in the ground that you are unable to grasp what they are really of, since you're at ground level and they're clearly a part of a much larger picture, and you're only seeing a very small portion of them at any time. But they look very deliberate, and they give you a sense of the scale of the room. Judging from exactly their proportions, this room itself is probably several thousand feet in radius. It is probably like 4 or 5 miles in radius. And as you're walking, there's instead of the torch sconces in the walls lighting up, there's just hovering blue flames in the air.
Kind of like fox flames?
Yeah, that are following you. They're not sort of random. They're in these floating things that are similar to torch sconces, like chandeliers without being connected to the ceiling.
Right.
The Kodama just sort of rubs its chin and looks inquisitively at you. And then, with a questioning look, points its arm up.
Koga, he kind of ponders, like, what kind of spirit needs all this space? And he is going to follow the pointing, not hand, thumb attached to an arm towards the quote-unquote ceiling / roof / whatever might be above him.
You figure he's gesturing to maybe let's try up instead of down.
Looks at the Kodama again. He says, "Do you want to double back then?"
It shrugs.
Koga folds his arms, kind of considers. He's like, "Yeah, we'll leave this place for later then." He's going to double back.
All right. As you start walking back, deep beneath you, you hear a. You just start hearing these very echoey, large collisions? Question mark. Did the bot stop for anyone else?
Might have. I turned it most. Yeah, I can't hear it.
It appears to have done so, yeah.
Rip bot.
Hey, better the bot dies than the character.
I need my ambience. Oops. Oh, I think there's just a big dead zone. Excuse me?
The phone ring
Hello?
for anyone else?
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird.
Let's try joining Regnum D&D's voice channel.
Yeah! Regnum
Just
D&D
what I've always
crossover is
wanted.
now!
What's happening?
Can't escape crossing fate, Eric.
Shut up.
Run, Artemis! Yeah!
Koga
Yeah.
keeps walking, and then he bumps into Ra, Artemis, and Maruna.
Yeah, Artemis does not show up.
What is going on with you, Rhythm Bot?
Reverend Bot is dead. Long live Reverend Bot.
Rhythmbot, are you sick?
I guess we're using Watch together then. No problem. Back to the Scorched contract.
Well, shall we continue?
We shall.
Not until he gets. Oh, hey,
Alright,
he's got his
so-
zombie eyes.
Koga having absolutely no direction.
So you just
Not
start
Regnum.
hearing these really loud impacts underneath you, like far underneath you. Far, far underneath you. You find your way back to the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
You start making your way back up. You get to the corridor, same corridor. You start following the corridor. At the other end, this time going to the right instead of the left, is an upward staircase with the same statue of a Kirin at the end of the corridor.
All right, up we go.
You go up the staircase for about 5 minutes before the wall gives out. This time it's the wall to your left giving out into open space. You see that you are incredibly high up. The wind is strong. There's ample staircase to work with, but the wind is strong. And out, splayed in front of you, is the entire southern portion of Ominatue.
I wonder where he could be.
You are almost at the top of Urumasimata.
So, basically, I can identify the surroundings around me as the big old ziggurat in the north.
Yeah.
Koga just kind of says to himself, well, well, well.
Do you continue?
Yeah, he's gonna keep walking towards the edge.
The staircase is continuing up. The wall just
Oh.
gave out to your left.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna keep going up then.
Okay, so you keep going up the staircase, and after another 5 minutes, it reaches what you what you recognize as the apex of Urumasimata. A massive platform with 3 large spires. One of them is broken nearly in half, and one of them, which is where the 4th would be, is entirely missing to the west.
Do these spires look like obelisks?
They do look like obelisks. The similar in make to Ramuian obelisks, but not quite. They're their own thing.
I wonder who the mysterious female voice is.
You see
It's Rika come to haunt him for her sins.
You see a figure sitting cross-legged far away from you, probably about 2,000, 3,000 feet in. The apex of Urumasimata doesn't seem to be quite as large as the room you were in, but that's because the room was deeper in the ziggurat. The figure looks very indistinct, but he is there.
Koga is going to carefully approach.
So as you begin walking towards the figure, you feel what is basically the magical version of your ears wanting to pop. You feel a very thick spiritual pressure as you get closer and closer, and you realize that the figure itself does not have any defining features. It looks to be a figure a humanoid that is sort of a manifestation of shadows coalesced around a being of pure light. And it is sitting down with its legs crossed in a meditative pose. As you get closer and closer, the shadows sort of recede. The light being emitted by the core of this figure slowly fades, and it takes a more tangible form as an actual man. Its eyes are closed. It has its hair pulled back in a rough ponytail, and it is wearing the garb of a samurai. Roll religion.
Okay. And flip.
This is
Also, I should be asking, am I still exhausted?
Yeah, I guess. What exhausted you again?
Pummeling boulders as a giant Oni for an hour straight.
You can have slept that off before this happened.
Okay, so that being transported here counted as a long rest?
It's not you being transported here, and then however long it took for you to wake up. You stayed unconscious until your exhaustion was gone. Your body needed the rest.
All right. So
so in front of you is Izanagi.
Well, how far away am I?
How far away do you want to be?
I mean, am I within speaking distance?
Do you want to be within speaking distance?
Yes.
Okay. You're within speaking distance.
Well, I've come to meet the other half.
He does not stir.
Koga, he kind of looks down at his feet and he starts to sort of pace. I don't know if I'm so insignificant that you don't even register my presence here, but on behalf of Izanami, I greet you. And he dips his head kind of like in a sort of a reverent nod, a nod of reverence. Not necessarily like he's more acknowledging Izanagi for who he is.
Okay. So, as you do this, the left eye of Izanagi slowly flits open. The left eye is the closer eye to you, and looks in your direction, and then closes, and then starts opening again. And his head turns a little bit more to get a better look of you, and then both of his eyes open. He blinks. They widen, and he sort of falls backward, climbs to his feet, draws his sword, and points at it. And he goes, "What the hell? You're not Isuru. How the hell did you get up here?"
Isuru?
Are you a ninja?
I am a child of Izanami, yes.
He rubs his forehead. What the fuck? Dude.
I love him already.
He's got his sword pointed at you. He points the sword. He doesn't stop from looking at you, but he moves the sword back and forth a couple times between you and pointing at Urumatsumata. How the hell did you get... You're not supposed to be able to... How... Did you know I was here? Because that's bad.
Koga smiles, and he raises a hand, and he says, "It is purely coincidental."
Wait, did you say... God, Izanami... Please tell me you've got some ground with her. Please tell me you've made some headway. I assume you're an associate of Isuru?
I am.
He blinks. Oh, I wasn't expecting that answer. Oh, good. Okay. He sheaths his sword. Doesn't look like I'm in trouble then.
I mean you no harm.
He sort of raises a hand and cocks his head slightly. Even if you did, like, I don't think it would be that close. But good to know.
Yes, I know. Should we talk?
Yeah, sorry. My nerves are, Whew! He does a few in-place hops and rolls his shoulders. Sort of wiggles his arms back and forth to loosen up. I've been sitting for a while. Lots of meditative bullshit that I gotta do up here. Whatever. What's up?
So Koga is going to actually sit down on his knees, plant his hands on them.
Continues to stand.
Yeah, he kind of figures that this guy's been doing enough of that. He'd rather stand, but Koga would lower himself to kind of,
Yeah. Oh, do you
Your
do the sake thing? And he holds up a hand, and a couple of sake dishes materialize, and they're already full. And he sort of takes a couple steps over and hands one to you, and then just sort of unceremoniously starts sipping from his.
takes his, bows his head, and to be a gent, to be a lad, he takes a sip of his sake.
After having the Path of Kuro sake, this is basically water, but it's all right.
So, I'd like to discuss the things that have been happening.
Before we do that, I'm assuming you're completely in the know about everything that has to do with me being up here, and I don't have to explain anything, right? Isaru's already done that?
What would I have to roll to recollect anything?
You were not told about any of this shit.
Okay.
None of it. You can't succeed on the roll.
Okay.
I'll roll a 1d100. You have to get a 150. Oh no.
Actually,
Quick! Multiple uses of inspiration!
Isaru has not been very forthcoming about what she knows.
Oh?
Anything.
When's the last time you spoke?
Koga tries to recollect.
It was
Must have
more than a
been
month
well
ago.
over a month. It's been more than a month since we last talked.
Oh jeez. That's not good. There's a lot that's happened recently. So he jams his thumb at himself. You know who I am, right?
You are Isanagi, the counterpart to my lady Isanami.
He then jabs a finger downward at the ground beneath you guys. You know what this thing is?
I know that it is forbidden among my like. It is not a place for mortals.
Yeah, but do you know what it is?
I'm afraid that is beyond my knowledge, yes.
So Izanami's thing is this place here. I sort of had my own thing going down underneath Anshin. It's not quite as famous because it doesn't stick up into the goddamn sky. Excuse my language. But it was
Would it be me, damn?
It was still there, and I used it to do some yokai classification, and he just sort of waves his hand in the circle and then brushes it
I
aside.
believe we've been down there.
Ishikemusho?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. How'd you get down there? How the hell do you get places, dude? That's crazy. You're not supposed to go to, like, any of this.
Koga, he raises his left hand and he lets a small shadow manifest across his palm.
So Izanagi sees this, he raises an eyebrow, and then his irises turn solid black, and then his sclera, a second after, swirl around with the same solid blackness. His entire body goes floomp straight into basically the same exact type of bodily composition that your shadow is made up of. And he blinks in that form as he looks you up and down and says in a heavily distorted voice, "Shit, dude!" Whoa! And then it goes back to regular, and he's like, "Whew! I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever actually seen one of mine finish a yokai path."
All I did was follow the path. And it led me right into Ishikemusho.
His name is Izanagi. And no, he is not Bill or Ted, but he resembles either of them. That was me trying to distort my voice, not trying to be a dude, bro. It didn't work super well, but that was the intention. So he continues on saying, Well, yeah, it would have to, seeing as how, you know, one of the biggest parts of the paths is making the pilgrimage to the associated temple. Either way, congratulations. You're now technically in the space between Izanami and I. You know, whatever prompts that affords you. Where were we? Right. So, you know, Urumasamada, it's essentially where Izanami stored her biggest, baddest yokai that she ever made. And it's got some pretty big bad dudes in here. And they're a little bit guard dogs, but they're actually pretty docile, and that's not why I'm here. Do you know why I'm here? Maybe?
I have a couple of guesses. One, you are trying to do your best to reconcile with my lady, Izanami. Koga smiles. Koga smiles
over.
Through this entire...
He's got an arm on his knees. Oh, God. You gotta be kidding me. Right.
It was a amusing hope that I entertained,
no,
yes.
No, heavens. I wish.
Koga leans forward, and he says the other thing you might be doing is trying to take on her power for yourself.
Nope, not that either. I'm actually, I'm being a big old baby. So he snaps. I hope I don't have to explain this whole thing. You know, what's his fucking name? Southern Island. Daiza. You know him? Daiza Hiruma?
Koga's voice goes cold, and he says, only too well.
Oh. Do you know what he's doing?
Power mongering, domination,
great. All right,
conquest.
so
I don't care.
I'm up here basically because if I wasn't, he'd be able to find me, and that would not be bueno. Forgive my Elvish.
So Koga's silent a moment, and he says, so his power is such that it can scare away even the great Izanagi.
It's not so much that, it's that it didn't scare away Ryujin, and from what I've been told from our mutual friend Isuru, Ryujin is not doing great. As for me, if I were to go away, and by go away I mean, like, get pub stomped by Daiza, that would bode very, very ill tidings for, right, you don't really know what I'm about. So, basically, Izanami is sort of the foundation of the existence of yokai. I'm sort of the foundation for the existence of mortals. Daiza has a lot of control over the yokai realm. And, well, we figure it's a good play for him not to be able to vie for power over the mortal realm as well.
I see.
We've actually discovered a couple things. He can only exist in the world of the living for like a day at most at a time, and then after he does that, he's got to go into recuperation for like a month. We haven't figured that out since he scratches the back of his neck. Used to be a mortal and all. We think that changed. What else did she say? Oh yeah, and there's this shit with the fucking invaders. What's going on with the boats coming in?
Koga kind of looks down a moment, contemplates his words, and then he says, well, from what a comrade of mine told me, they are from far off, north to be exact, and they have come here seeking a couple of things. One, resources. Two, they are seeking my friend.
Yeah.
And they don't agree with this land, from what I've seen.
Ambiguous wording. I don't.
Well, I don't pretend to know the ways of the northern people, but they came here to exact a bounty.
Ooh, yeah, that's... What the hell? It's their problem.
And they have been at odds with everything between them and that bounty being my friend. And, well, they don't tend to favor yokai. At least, given the Trail of Carnage.
That is unfortunate, considering the amount of yokai around.
What's more, Koga, he pauses a moment. What's more is that they have seemed to enlisted the help of Izanami's other children.
Alright, well, full disclosure, what I'm doing up here is important. First and foremost, it hides most of... I still don't... God, this is such a headache. So, you know what I'm talking about when I say, the spiritual pressure you had to get through in getting here, right? That you somehow bypassed?
It might have something to do with my path, but yes.
Alright, well, that aside, that keeps Daiza from figuring out where I am, basically. It acts as a huge barrier to magic in general, particularly of the divination kind. So,
I see.
There's usually not really anything up here, so he doesn't actually have a reason to come look personally, especially considering how hard it would be for him to actually get up here. And Izanagi furrows his brow. Except if you did that, maybe it's easier for him than I thought, but he shakes his head anyways. This kind of sucks for me. I don't know if you can sort of gather that I'm very discontented, and he jogs in place a little bit restless. So I hope you've got news as to, like, Daiza's dead, I can come down.
No, Daiza isn't dead, but Koga lifts an index finger. But he may have an Achilles heel. Koga doesn't say Achilles heel. He doesn't know what an Achilles is.
He says he does have a weakness, or
he does have a weakness. One, Koga, he produces the the bladeless sword.
Oh, you've been busy. I see why Izanami lets you carry around like half of her.
So you know.
Well, yeah, they're right there.
Koga, yeah, he produces the bladeless sword. He also says, what's more, I have reason to believe that Daiza is just a puppet of a greater power that wants to break into this realm.
Yeah, I actually knew that too. There's been a lot of I don't really know how to describe this. So you have your way of perceiving things, right? My way is a little different, since I was literally pulled out of the primordial soup by our buddy Pongo. And that way of perceiving things is, imagine looking out at the ocean and seeing the surface, but not really being able to distinguish any difference between the water and the air. And it just continuing like that for infinity. The top half is the world of the living, and it is situated on top of the spirit world. And there's a little bit of a film that has very gradually eked itself up between the two. And it's doing its best to lay low, but I have noticed it. Most of the reason I've noticed it is because, God, I don't have anything else to do up here. But, so Koga, as he's describing this sounds very, very similar to when you touched the wall of the cave and moved through. So you actually do sort of know what he's talking about.
Okay, so Koga's nodding comprehensively. Comprehendingly.
As for what it is, I've been actually trying to do my best to really think back before a lot of the creation Izanami and I did under Amaterasu's vigil. Trying to think about if anything was omitted or kicked out. Maybe if there was something that Pongu made first. He shrugged. Not sure. That said, it's good that you have one of the Forlorn Blades that looks like the one from Ramui.
It was... Koga, he kind of sighs to himself. A parting gift, yes.
Right. Anshin. Yeah, that's the one from Anshin, right? So, he corrects himself. And then goes on to say, there should be one down beneath Ishike Musho. You didn't happen to get that one too, did you?
I've been down there, but not far enough to find anything of the like, no.
You actually did. It was down. I think Maram Show had it. No, I'm fucking stupid. So you are holding the one in Ishike Musho. He doesn't say that. He continues to say there's one at the foot of Kanayawashu in Ramui. You haven't been around there, have you?
We have, haven't we?
Yes, you have. Maram Show has that one.
Yes. That one, well, is in the possession of one of my comrades, which I hope is still among the living.
Yeah, me too. I can check if you want.
Koga, he suddenly just, a spark of hope, like, just ignites in his eyes.
You say she's got one of the Forlorn Blades?
She should. Koga nods slowly.
Alright, he just sort of starts walking over to the edge of Urumasimata this way. And after probably half an hour, you guys reach the edge. And he blinks and his eyes turn a solid white. The irises turn white first, and then the sclera swirls white around them. And he just sort of looks out to the horizon and very slowly just moves his head slowly to the left. And then after a couple minutes, he's looking in this direction and he's continuing to just sweep his vision left. And then after another couple minutes, he's looking this direction, continuing to go left. And he's sort of passively walking along this edge over to this corner of the top of Urumasimata. And after another couple minutes, he stops and he points down to this coast of Omanatwe, and he says, "Yeah, she's down there."
So she still lives.
She's got a little dragon friend.
That would be the one. You wouldn't have happened to sense a cat-eared foreigner.
I can't really get into the specifics around that. Imagine that I see a whole bunch of white dots, and one of the white dots is holding the Forlorn Blade. She has a black dot next to her. That's the dragon, by the way. So, maybe. She's in the middle of a whole bunch, though. There's a lot of white dots down there.
Koga kind of like furrows his brow a little. He doesn't know what that's about, but... well... there might be hope yet. Koga glances towards Izanagi.
Roll insight, by the way. Because you were talking about weaknesses of Daiza.
Yeah.
Great. So,
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you straight out. He mentioned Daiza can only exist in the world of the living for about a day, and then he has to recover for a month. And he existed in the world of the living for a day while he was coming to talk to you guys. So he's gone for a month.
Koga is going to ask, so, you know about the sun and the moon, yes?
Yeah. Vaguely.
Daiza... Koga looks out into the distance. Daiza seemed to have had business with...
Tsukiyomi
and Suzaku.
Daiza seemed to have business with Suzaku and Tsukiyomi.
Well, they're back, so nothing too lasting.
You don't sense any changes in either of them?
Well, I'm a little more Suzaku. Izanami's a little more Tsukiyomi. I can try talking to the big bird if you want me to.
Yes.
Great. And, he sits down. He says, "It's gonna take a bit. Make yourself at home."
Koga is going to look in the direction where Merim Show, quote-unquote, is. He's going to sit down, legs folded, hands on his knees.
Two small specks on the coast of, or three small specks on the coast next to a very long beach. You identify them as vaguely looking similar to the ships that were over here, but they're way further away. Like...
oh, okay.
You're basically seeing the three ships that were outside the encampment, but you're so far away that they're specks.
Makes sense.
So you have about a day to work with.
Is there any check I can make to discern how I might have even gotten into this temple? Because I just kind of woke up here.
You can roll insight.
Okay.
You're gonna have to crit again, because it'd be hard.
I mean...
you might as well try.
Might as well try. How long is it going to take Izanagi to contact Suzaku?
Like I said, you have about a day to work with. I'll give it to you for the 23. So you did not hear the whisper in the back of your head until after you transported.
mean, this is Izanami's temple. You're carrying half of Izanami.
True.
Not
You kind of
saying
look.
it's Izanami, but there's a good case to be made for it.
I mean, yeah, he kind of ponders that himself. Perhaps this was the doing of Izanami, he thinks to himself.
Well, regardless of the whispering, he's carrying half of Izanami, and this is Izanami's temple.
It's kind of a suspicion he draws.
Lore implications.
He looks out to the distance and he says, "Hold on for me. I'll be with you shortly." He is a touch restless now that he knows that Marum Show is alive, and
Yeah, no problem. So, over the course of the day, do you want to just like explore the top of Uru Masimata?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Roll investigation.
I'm going to explore. Namely, I'm going to search for any way that would get me back up here, if I needed to. Investigation.
I'm gonna say roll 5 investigation checks, and
okay,
and then you can designate one of them to be that, and I'll just decide what the other 4 get you, or if you want any other potential results from the investigation checks, you can call those out.
Wow.
Koga doesn't really care. Yeah.
So which one is for the potential transportation?
Highest one, of course.
15. Such a thing does not exist.
Ah, well.
The 4, 4, and 5, you get a sort of veiled interest in a lot of the very esoteric carvings in both the ground and the 2.5 remaining obelisks up here. They're a lot more varied and diverse than the carvings down in the corridor that led to the staircase that goes up here. There might be more stuff to look at deeper in Uru Masimata, but given its scale, it would take way longer than the time you have to go and explore. You do find with the 13 that they seem to be written in a variety of languages, including the languages you know. In Sylvan, you see a recipe for a ninja charm.
Oh. So let's add that to the index. And I suppose if I have a day up here, I could do some crafting.
Yep. So you get the recipe for a question mark, question mark, question mark ninja charm.
Alright, I will add that to my list of ninja charms known. Hex, fog cloud, oil, dazing, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Greg, the first ninja, was like, I'm going to put this recipe here, but I'm not going to bother seeing what it is.
Well, it's mostly that I didn't describe the varied languages. It's not that things are written in like completely and then translated into different languages. The languages of what is written down fluctuate, and so only the recipe itself is in a language that Koga recognizes. But
I'm just amused at the idea of a ninja, the first ninja, being on the top of Izanami's temple. I'm going to write a ninja recipe here, but I'm not going to see what it is.
This is the ninja charm of prostate stimulation, and the first guy to use it without knowing is going to be surprised.
Alright, so Koga is going to return to Izanagi's side. He's going to sit down and he's going to break out his calligraphy supplies and start working on that.
Great, so you make roll calligraphy.
Tab back over to core. Scroll down. Boop.
All right, so you get about half of one done. You'll need to finish it later.
So this is some really complex shit then.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add... unfinished ninja charm.
Great. Izanagi sort of regains his senses, and he says, "Hey, welcome back, me. Suzaku is very troubled. Looks like our old boy was threatened with Tsukiyomi's well-being, and he didn't like that one bit, fell into a trap, and went into a pretty deep sleep, but he can't tell me anything beyond that."
That Daiza would meddle with the very heavens themselves. His sacrilege knows no bounds.
He shakes his head. What a bastard. So, right, yeah, there's, so you have the one in Ramui, you have the one in Anshin, or at least she has the one in Ramui. You should probably go get that. She has the one in Anshin. You should probably go, fuck, keep forgetting. Whatever. You understand. There's another one. It's down in Tenshin Natue. Roll history with a very low DC, like DC 6.
Watch him roll 4.
Oh,
If I call that 4, what
If you call
happens?
that 4, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Watch it be a 5.
All right. Okay.
So, Tenshin Natue is the forbidden half of Oma Natue that nobody's allowed to go in because spirits meddle with mortals to the point where they tantalize them with the prospects of cursed things.
Good job.
Cursed things that will alter the fundamentals of the world if they are tampered with. So you are not supposed to go over there.
So that's this place where I'm clicking?
That is that place.
Makes sense that the blade would be there.
I'm going to move you guys over to the world map so you can see the whole of Oma Natue.
yeah, it's the that, yeah.
Yeah, that is Tenshin Natue.
And more than likely here-ish. This is the only landmark though.
It's one of the only landmarks. There's a very strange lack of trees in the middle. In a line. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's intentional.
This
So
is my
Koga.
island and that's your half.
Okay.
That's
Alright.
the divorce.
So Koga, he looks at Izanagi again and kind of tensing his fingers on his knees a little. He says, "My lady Izanami, as you know, she has fractured herself, and she has instructed her children to safekeep each fragment."
Oh yeah, what's up with and he's just eating dumplings that he conjured. What's up with why do you have 2 of them?
Do you know a man named... Because I'm so bad with names. I got it here, don't worry. Do you know a man named Tachikawa Oma?
Why, yes, I do. He's actually the fella that advised me to come up here. He, before Isuru came and was doing rounds with me, he was actually my primary contact with the outside. He said he was gonna go to Ramui and set in motion a plan that was gonna help out with Daiza, but he hasn't gotten back to me on that.
Well, part of that plan was taking the scroll from my temple.
Oh. We're acquainted.
Koga kind of sighs. He's kind of come to forgive Tachikawa for the most part. But still,
there's a little bit.
There's a little bit of a begrudgance there. He's like, yes, we are. He took the scroll of Izanami, and that set off a chain of events in Natue, which caused, I guess, a war between Izanami's children.
What? Sorry, what?
A war.
Izanami's children being yokai? Oh, the ninja!
Yes.
Ooh. How do ninja wage war? They like steal each other's shit until only one person has all of it?
Well, that's maybe Shen's way of doing it, but the others are a bit more bloody about how they go about their business.
He just sort of grimaces. Ooh.
My clan is no more.
Ooh. Ooh.
I went to follow the one-armed man. That's where I found Ramui, met my comrades, found the first of the Forlorn Blades. It brought us to Anshin, where our dealings found the second.
Does that mean that you're in contact with Ozuma too?
I am,
He nods.
though
Are you?
Not direct contact, but
I mean, you became in contact with his unconscious body, sure.
Koga was just about to get to that, jeez. Ozuma is not... Well, he was not looking well when we met him.
Oh, great. You want me to ring him up? See if he's doing good now?
Will that take a day?
No. That'll be a lot easier. Ozuma is not way the fuck up there. He's just sort of like... He gestures in a western direction. He'll also, like, he doesn't really have a super specific job to do. Like, the reason that took so long is because I had to wait for it to be nighttime, basically.
Ah, well, by all means then.
Great. And he sticks out his left arm and sort of just scratches this really shitty, not a circle but supposed to be a circle in the dirt on the top of Urumasimata, and then just sort of makes some bad symbols in it, and then slaps his hand against it twice, and then moves his hand away, and erupting out of foxfire, Ozuma just sort of looks around, sees Izanagi, and says, "Am I needed for some? Have we met?"
Koga looks over at Ozuma, and he bows his head. We have, though. You weren't awake. I was the one who tended to your wounds after your battle with...
At the foot of the obelisk.
Yes.
Well, then I am in your debt.
Koga, he just kind of smiles weakly. I only did what my calling compelled me to do.
And what is the purpose between the meeting of the two of you? He looks at you and Izanagi. Izanagi just sort of waves his hand and says, "I mean, he just kind of got up here, and I've been real bored." He just rubs his eyes with his fingers. And then like, I brought up you because apparently he's got the Forlorn Blade, and Ozuma raises his eyebrows and looks at you and says, "Oh, that's where that got off to." And then he looks at the Kodama on your shoulder and says, "Thank you, Iruka." And the Kodama just sort of chirps and gives him 2 thumbs up.
So Koga looks at Ozuma. Does Ozuma look like he's recovered completely?
Yeah, Ozuma looks great. He is awash with just latent power.
And he kind of thinks to himself that
Ozuma, as you're thinking to yourself, just slowly makes himself a chair out of his 9 tails and sits on it.
yeah, he's kind of pondering himself.
Oh, he's got 9 tails now. I thought he had 8.
Yep, he's got 9.
He's the oldest.
He used to have 9.
Used to have
Or he
8.
used to have 8. He has 9 now.
Oh, he grew a new tail.
Wait, what?
So yeah, Koga, he kind of pondering to himself.
Oh, I also should have mentioned, Uzu had 2. When last you saw him. He used to have 1.
Okay.
Well, that's ominous.
Why? Just
Amaterasu was the one with 9 tails. That's why it's ominous.
ah.
Unless everyone just like moves up or pushes away.
Yeah, so he's kind of pondering himself that how strong Reika's undead father must be to press a guy like this, like that.
Still,
So you realize that Daiza has wrested control over the fundamentals of death, yes?
To an extent, I've been able to make some very real headway over in Ramui in terms of mitigating that to the point where there's actually an established foothold on the northern coast of Hurinomasu that I, as well as the Amaterasu School of Onmyoji, are commandeering. We've attempted contact with the College of Excavation in Anshin, but we have not yet been communicated back with.
I see. What is the fate? Koga kind of ponders. Remind me, because it's been so long ago, what was the name of this town?
Which one? That
This one.
was Mokiomi.
Remind me. So yeah, Koga, he kind of ponders. Can you tell me the fate of Mokiomi?
Well, Tachikawa Oma just appeared there.
Well, with the way things have been going, I feared for the worst.
Well, no. Part of our campaign in situating a position on the northern coast of Hurinomasu was making sure that we had substantially purified Ramui itself. We managed to get rid of the desecration on the southern coast, and things are doing pretty well over there. I believe he came back with my youngest sibling, Uzu, to situate him at the head of the island while I stay in the field.
Koga nods. When this is over, and I perchance still draw breath, I will probably make my home there.
Sure.
But that's my business. Thinking again, Koga's going to take the plunge. The big question.
The big question.
The big question.
The Beagle question.
He's gonna look
Wow.
at Izanagi. When it comes down to it, and the fate of this world hangs in Daiza's hands, are you sure that you could not reconcile with Izanami?
I mean, I can do it.
But he looks at the scroll.
You haven't answered
Kind
my
of like-
question. Why are those... Isn't she bitching you out?
Well, at first there was an aversion to bringing the scroll and the blade together, and he nods at the spirit blade on his back, but her voice is become silent somewhat.
That's weird. You tried talking to her?
I had planned to at some point, yes.
Oh, maybe you could tell her that to talk to me. And at this, you hear a very firm, very clear
No.
feminine voice in your head say, "Tell him to fuck off right now."
It seems that my mistress does not wish to talk to you.
It's worth a shot.
Then Koga sighs very...
Talk for the grandkids.
Koga sighs and nods to himself. Then it is as I feared. I have been, for the past while, questioning my mistress's wisdom.
You've been what? This is the voice again in your head. It seems like the jig is up. She's not pretending to be quiet anymore.
While the world is being torn apart at its very basis, while Daiza roams around messing with the land and the heavens, while many others have been standing fast against this threat, I've been kind of pondering where Izanami has been in all of this.
You feel a very tactile sense of horror, and it's you. You're scared, and it's at Izanami. And the feminine voice comes back, and this time it's much calmer and says, "You're questioning me, are you?" And it almost sounds like,
shit.
it almost sounds like she is looking at her fingernails as she says this. You're questioning why the only individual who saw this coming decided to fragment herself so that Daizo would not be able to commandeer the entirety of Yokai-dom. And, I don't know, you feel you have the audacity to make my judgments for me. It's very interesting, and, why don't you go fuck yourself?
He kind of
Can we take a
scoffs.
short break, guys?
Okay.
I'm gonna say break after this. Right after she says that, the spirit blade spins off your back and flies off the edge of Urumasimata.
Oh, damn.
So,
Okay, I'll be back.
Izanagi and Ozuma just sort of watch as it happens, and then look at you and say, and pause. We will pick back up with Terem Show.
okay.